9 in the morning on the 15th. Denise has her coffee. She's already walked her 30 minutes. One thing left on the list. She types 2000, looks at it, deletes it. 1600, looks at it, deletes it. 1200, submit. Ask her why 1200 and she couldn't tell you. She'd think about it for a second and say something like, it felt about right. Something about Denise stays with me. She does every single thing the retirement advice told her to do. The morning walk, the early bedtime, news off after lunch, 8 small habits, and every one of them free. The only part of her whole day that touches actual money is the one part nobody ever handed her a method for. There's a number sitting inside her own plan. 4% of what she saved, divided by 12. Do that on your own balance, and it takes about a minute, then you'd know yours. Denise has never once worked out hers. 2 years that number has been sitting there. So why did nobody put it in front of her? 2 years ago, Denise stopped being a school district secretary after 22 years. First week off, she slept until 10, felt awful about it, felt like a person coming apart. So she went looking for a shape to the day. She found one, a morning show, a library book with a cracked spine, a niece who sent her a link. Walk in the morning, light on your face, bed at the same time, news, once, on purpose, then off, 10-something living, wipe the counters before bed. She wrote the 8 of them out and stuck the list on the fridge. Hold that thought. We come back to that list. I want to be careful with this next part because it's true and it deserves saying plainly. It worked. 6 months in, she was sleeping better than she had in her last decade at the district. The tomatoes on the back porch came in. She started calling her sister on Tuesdays. Free advice, no expert, no fee. It gave a woman her days back. So she counted it up, 8 things a day, not one of them costing a dime, all of them holding. And she decided the hard part was behind her. Month 3, her first withdrawal, $1,000. It felt good, felt like restraint, like being smart with it. Nobody told her $1,000 wasn't restraint. It was a decision. She'd be making it again in 30 days. And again 30 days after that. One thing before we go further, because it matters and I don't want it buried at the end. What I'm about to walk through only applies if your plan allows more than you're currently spending. If most of your income is Social Security and the savings are thin, spending carefully isn't a glitch in your head. It's arithmetic. No psychology trick fixes arithmetic. I'd be lying if I said otherwise. Denise wasn't in that group. Denise had $490,000 sitting in what she still calls the district account. 2 years on, the district has nothing to do with it. She just never came up with another name. $490,000. And she withdrew like a woman who didn't have it. It started with a receipt. Her daughter was hunting one down for a warranty claim, pulled up 2 years of account history and scrolled. There it was, 24 months. 22 different numbers and 2 months of nothing at all. 400 one month, 2100 the month the roof went, 600, 900. 2 months blank because Denise withdraws on the 15th, the day her paycheck used to land, and twice she plain forgot. She looked at that column a long time. What bothered her wasn't that the numbers ran too low or too high. Not one of them was a decision. 22 moods and 2 months she forgot. Her daughter asked her something reasonable. When's the last time you decided how much you were allowed to spend in a month? Denise couldn't remember. Not the date. Ever. For 22 years, she never had to. The 15th, the money showed up. She didn't move it. Somebody moved it. The taxes came out before she laid eyes on the number. She didn't calculate them. Somebody calculated them. Every fall, an email from the front office. Open enrollment starts Monday. Don't forget. She didn't have to remember. Somebody remembered for her. Denise counted those out on her fingers at the kitchen table. 3 things. 3 things that walked out the door the same morning she did. And not one of her 8 habits replaces a single one. The morning walk is wonderful. The morning walk does not move money. Be honest for a second. When was the last time you had to decide what changed isn't Denise? For 40 years, spending money was never really an action. It sat on top of a stream, and the stream refilled itself on the 15th, every 15th, whether you thought about it or not. Now every number she types into that box makes a pile smaller, a pile that doesn't refill. Same dollars, same woman, Completely different price to pay in her head. Nobody warned her the price would change. So her daughter asked the real question, Mum, what does your plan say you're allowed to spend? Denise didn't have an answer. So the two of them sat down and worked it out. The 4% rule comes from an advisor named Bill Bengen back in 1994. And the part that almost never gets said out loud, Bengen tuned that number to survive the worst stretch in the historical record. Not the average one, the worst one. Which means if your retirement turns out roughly ordinary, 4% doesn't drain you. It leaves you sitting on money. 4% of $490,000, $19,600 a year, divided by 12, $1,633 a month. Denise wrote it on the back of an envelope. Then she stopped moving. She'd been doing the arithmetic backward. 1,200, 900, 400, 22 withdrawals in 2 years, and 21 of them landed under the line. The 1 month she went over it, a roofer told her she had to. 1,200 was her usual, 1,633 was hers to take. $433 a month, every month, she called a good one. That's the trip to her sister in Louisville she talked herself out of twice. The mattress, she's been sleeping around for 3 years. Every restaurant she drove past because she'd already eaten something at home. 2 years of turning herself down for a number she never looked at. If your own balance is closer to 500,000, that same line is 1,667 a month. It takes about a minute to find out. Denise took 2 years. And she didn't just sit there feeling it. She opened the laptop, found the recurring transfer setting, 3 clicks in, sitting there the whole time, typed 1,633, chose monthly, chose the 15th, hit confirm. That was the last time she'll ever type that number. Her daughter looked up, what to call this? It has a real name, decumulation paralysis. Denise laughed at that. 4 syllables. For something so simple. All it means, the part of your brain you spent 40 years training not to spend does not switch off on the day you need it to. And for 2 years, she'd read her own good months exactly wrong. She thought the $400 months were her good months. Sitting at that table, she changed her mind. Those weren't her discipline months. Those were the months she postponed a decision. This is a woman who has walked 30 minutes every morning for 2 years straight. Discipline is not her problem. She has discipline coming out her ears. What she didn't have was a default. She'd never once had to build one herself, and nobody was in line to build one for her. 4% isn't a secret. It's been public since 1994. But the 8 habits on her fridge came from people with nothing to sell, a morning show, a library book, her niece, free is easy to hand out. The habit that moves real money sits with people who are usually paid a percentage of what's left in the account. A transfer that pulls more out every month makes that percentage smaller. Nobody's a villain here. It's just that no one writes a checklist item that shrinks their own invoice. There's research on this. The Employee Benefit Research Institute followed American households across 3 decades of retirement. 21, 22 years in, about 4 in 10 of the middle savings households still had everything they started with, or more. Her daughter read that out. Denise made her read it again. Then the other half, because the other half is just as real. About 4 in 10 of those same households were down below half of what they started with. 2 numbers, side by side, and they don't contradict. 2 different groups of people. 2 roads out of the same starting point. The only question worth asking is which one you're on. 2 years she'd spent not asking. One more thing she did that night. It's the one she told her sister about. She pulled up the Social Security tables. A 65-year-old today has somewhere around 18 to 21 years left, depending. Denise is 67, so she knocked a couple off the middle and called it 19. 19 years, 52 weeks, a year, about 1,000 Tuesday mornings. That's what's left. Not 10,000, 1,000. And she'd spent 22 of her 15ths typing a number, deleting it, typing a smaller one, for a number she only ever needed to enter once. So Denise now, 12 decisions a year became 1. The transfer runs on the 15th, and it doesn't ask her opinion, which is what the district payroll office did for 22 years. She hired it back, cost her nothing. She did the tax half too. Payroll had been doing her one more favor she couldn't reproduce by hand. She filed a form called W4V and picked one of 4 rates. So the tax comes straight out of her Social Security before she sees it. The reason isn't only convenience. The IRS treats money that's withheld as if you paid it evenly across the whole year. Money you send in yourself only counts for the quarter you sent it. For 40 years, something was quietly on her side, and she never knew. She switched it back on. She taped that envelope inside the kitchen cabinet above the coffee. Not the balance. The balance is the thing that froze her. 490,000 is a number you protect. 1633 is a number you spend. In March, she drove to Louisville. 4 days. She'd been talking herself out of that trip since her first summer off. And the arithmetic that talked her out of it was never arithmetic at all. It was a feeling holding a calculator. Her definition of a good month changed too. It used to mean a month she took out less. Now it means a month she didn't have to think about it at all. Which, if you go back to the beginning, is the only thing she ever wanted. Not more money, just to stop doing math at 9 in the morning. That list is still in the fridge. She drew a line above the first item and wrote one more in out of order at the top. If you don't know your number yet, that's the first job. Not the 9th item after the 8. The one that goes above all 8? Walk in the morning. Absolutely. Keep the kitchen straight. Call your sister. Let the news go. Every bit of that holds up. But the habit that decides what your ordinary Tuesday actually looks like is the one nobody put on the free list. And the math takes 4 minutes. Balance times 4% divided by 12. Give or take, that's your month. Then find the setting in your own account that makes it happen without you. It's 3 clicks in. It's been there the whole time. Last thing, the 15th, the following month, Denise walked her 30 minutes, came back, poured the coffee, didn't open the laptop. The money was already there. First morning in 2 years where the last thing on the list wasn't hers to do. Tell me in the comments, do you have a transfer that runs on its own, or are you still deciding it fresh every month? And if you're still deciding it every month, I'm curious which part stops you. The number or the feeling? I read them. I'd like to know how many of us are still typing it in by hand. If this was useful, a like helps other people find it. Subscribe if you want more of them. This is for education and entertainment only, not financial advice. For decisions about your situation, talk to a qualified fiduciary advisor, a CPA, or the SSA.